So I should really be making probably a video compiling everything from China, because all of the shorts that I've been uploading and everything I've said over the last couple of weeks has been China, China, China. And I just got back from China yesterday. It's a great trip. It's an amazing trip. And I've got a ton of editing work that I got to do to put together some Korea and China videos. Those will be coming up really quick over the next hopefully next couple of days they'll start coming in. Maybe as soon as tomorrow, depends on how quickly I can edit these together. There's a lot of content to put together, but I actually have to do something today, which is take the boat in for annual maintenance. And so this is really the first opportunity I've had to tow the boat for any sort of real distance. Because my boat launch is only less than a mile away from the house. So while I have towed the boat with the Lightning, which I've had for a year, I've only towed it like maybe a half mile in total distance. And so one of the big things about electric trucks is how much distance they lose while towing. And I want to sort of do a little record this experiment while I have that first opportunity. So I also think this is going to be a fairly short video. So I have to take the boat about 45 miles up to Linwood. It's like an hour and a half drive in traffic. But according to the truck, I've got a good 100 miles at least that we can do. So we should be well within range. I shouldn't have to stop and charge up. In fact, in theory, I should be able to get up there and back on this charge. I've charged it all the way up to 100% just to be sure. I'm like 99% sure this will, I can go the distance to get up there without having to stop and charge somewhere, because that would be a pain in the butt, because I'd have to drop the trailer, charge it, rehook up the trailer. I really don't want to have to do that. So we'll see if this works. Hopefully it works. I got all day to sort it out if it doesn't. So let's get started on it.
So after getting everything hooked up, I did a trailer light check, and the Ford app actually has a new feature, or I think it was new. I don't remember seeing it before doing this, that lets you, as a single person, without somebody in the truck flipping the blinkers on and hitting the brakes, that you can actually check your lights for yourself. I'm not sure that I really like the way that the light check worked, because it just automatically steps through everything. It'd kind of be nice to be able to actually push the button to say left blinker, right blinker, brakes, as opposed to it just automatically stepping through. Because I don't know that I could necessarily tell if the brakes were working or not, but I could definitely tell that the left blinker was working and the right blinker wasn't. So I'm going to have to get the right lights replaced. So I guess it's convenient that I found that out right before I'm taking the boat in the shop, so they can get that taken care of for me.
All right, so in towing mode, it says that we have 116 miles of range, and that is with the trailer weight and size programmed in. So I think it's gonna, the truck has said it's gonna do a little bit of recalculation once we've driven for a little while, and so that range might come up. Okay, I'm almost home. I had to stop off at the store real quick to pick up some stuff, but we've almost made the complete round trip from Linwood, which is 45 miles, to drop off the boat for maintenance and then head back home another 45 miles. There was a little detour when we got started because I forgot the keys to the boat, which I need to bring with me so that they can do the maintenance on the boat. And so I had to turn around. That added about 5 miles to the trip. So we're in, let's just say, round trip, everything, about 95 miles for the day. 50 miles with the boat, and then 45 miles back. And the truck says we have about 83 miles of range left. We're at about 43% charge. When I dropped off the boat, I was at 62% charge. And so that's about good. I would say when hauling this boat, and this is a 4,000, with the boat and trailer, it's about 4,000 pounds. This truck is about 6,000 pounds. So it's adding about an additional 60% weight to what we're doing, but that cuts the range about in half. And when I started driving, it was actually a little scary because the range, when we first started, it said I got 119 miles of range that we could drive. As I did that first 5 miles out and back before I remembered that I forgot the keys, the range dropped off quickly, much faster. Like in those 5 miles, I lost almost 20 miles of range. And I think that was the truck as it was trying to calculate, like, hey, how much load is this actually and whatnot. But over the next 10 to 15 miles, I kind of gained some of that back. And so it was fine. So I think actually probably if instead of estimating 119 miles, it had estimated probably closer to 110, that would probably have been pretty accurate. And I think the truck sort of accounts for that. How did it pull? It pulled fine. No hesitation. You can feel the extra load that you're pulling. And I thought when I first started off, there was a little bit of a shimmy, and I don't know if that was maybe the boat shaking, something with the trailer. But after that even after the initial 5 miles of out and back to the house, that seemed to go away. So, it drove very smooth. It pulled the boat just fine. So pulled 4,000-pound trailer just fine. No problems with that. Other than the fact that if you're pulling a trailer, you're probably limited to about 100 miles range with standard range vehicle. So that's probably, not super great if you're wanting to take a longer trip. You'd have to really sort of manage that longer trip a lot heavier than you would. And partly just because you'd have to stop often, and then partly, if you've got a trailer, and I'll say this is the one thing where I think EVs are lacking compared to a gas vehicle. If I'm driving an EV and I pull into a charging station, I can't have a trailer attached. I really can't. None of them are set up. None of them that I've ever actually been to. I've seen a couple pictures online of maybe some places where you could pull through. But every EV charging station that I've ever been to, if you had a trailer on, you'd be blocking the road behind you. Or if you pulled in sideways, you'd be blocking you'd be blocking the entire charging station. Whereas at a gas station, I can pull up, and yes, maybe I'm blocking 2 gas pumps, but I'm going to be blocking those 2 gas pumps for 5 minutes. And I may even be using both of them. I may be filling up the boat while I'm filling up the truck. And so I think that's something that as an EV truck, if you're pulling a trailer, it is that extra work to then drop the trailer and then charge the vehicle and then go pick up the trailer again and then drive off to where you're going. That's not a lot of extra time, maybe an extra 5 minutes to do that. But then you have the additional consideration of, all right, I got this trailer, I'm pulling in, and I'm pulling into a shopping center parking lot, and I got to find an open spot where I can drop this boat, and it's just going to be a little bit more difficult to navigate. So that would be a little bit harder. So for me, I think this is still a great vehicle because it handles this, which is going to be my longest drive with the boat, and the rest of the time I'm just going to be pulling it to the boat launch, which is a quarter mile from the house. So for me, this still works. If I wanted to take the boat to one of the other lakes nearby, it would also hit, that distance. If I want to go to Lake Washington, Sammamish, one of the other lakes. What it wouldn't work for, though, is if we were taking a trip to, say, Chelan, and we wanted to bring the boat and spend a week in Chelan with the boat. Man, it would be really hard pulling this over the pass and going, what I think is probably 200 miles to get to Chelan from here. And going over the passes, you'd have to stop even more. And there might be some sections there where I don't even know if I could make it over, because going uphill, you're going to be burning a lot more energy. So I just don't know that it would be feasible to get it to some of those places from here. So it still works for me. Works. It pulled great. It's just, and I already knew when I bought this going into it, I was going to be dropping half the range about when pulling. So it's interesting to actually see that it actually does drop half. I'm glad that it was only half. There was some, I was a little bit concerned that it might be more, and that I wouldn't even, like, this 45 mile trip might be a little bit of a test of it. But I still have 83 miles of normal range left after bringing the boat to the 45 miles to Linwood, and driving back 45 miles. So it seems about right. So if I had done this whole trip, though, that would have been, I don't think I could drive it all the way up there and all the way back. That would be probably about as far as you could go, and it would maybe be pushing the limits a little too far. All right, so with that, that's it. We'll have China videos coming out in the next couple of days, so keep watching, stay subscribed, and thanks for watching.